Good evening, everybody. It is the Dead Time Radio program. This is episode 13. This is a special episode because this is our season finale for season 1. So before we go crazy with a whole bunch of stuff, I want to let everybody know this is a special 2-hour episode because we're going to talk about other stuff other than weird shit. And I think you're going to have fun with us tonight. How are you tonight, Dawn?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you do anything exciting this week?
No, but remember that ghost that I told you was in the house?
Yeah.
It's a kid, so it's been acting up. So
Nice.
no, not nice.
Now you have 2 kids in the house.
Well, yes. It's very, very spooky.
My candles are still straight in my room, so I don't think
Are they?
that was a ghost. I think
I
it was.
think you sent it home with me when you gave Finley
doubt
the
it.
computer.
I doubt
No,
it.
I don't. It's attached to the fucking computer, and
I doubt
you're
it.
haunting my house.
I'm
You
not
sent your
haunting
minions
anything.
over, and they're terrifying my family.
Don't listen to her. She's lying. It's not
So
true.
I have to set up a schedule where I sage every 2 weeks.
Done. Can you believe we have done 13 episodes?
No, it's amazing. We're having so much fun. It just flies. It's incredible. And thank you guys for listening. We appreciate all your feedback when we see you.
Absolutely.
We would not be here if it was not for you. So I want to thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. So,
Absolutely. And those of you that have been bugged to death at work by us talking about our show, we appreciate you actually checking us out.
yes.
And we want to really, really thank you because I think some of you guys sent some words out to some people because we've been getting a lot of downloads, and that's awesome.
Yes.
In fact, before we get crazy, I want to read something, Dawn.
Okay.
Somebody sent us an email.
Thank you for sending an email. Yay.
And this is Katie from Georgia.
Yes.
So on our near-death experience podcast, we were talking about one story about a person who miraculously cured themselves after their near-death experience they had cancer. So her question is, so on the NDE podcast, where the people with cancer were miraculously cured after their deaths, what do you think of the fact their bodies were dead for at least a certain amount of time, so no metabolic changes were occurring anymore, right? Because cancer cells are hyper-metabolic, which is why we can see them on PET scans. What if the lack of oxygenated blood, even for a limited time, was enough to kill the cancer cells? Wow.
That's a good one.
What if this is a possible cancer treatment? They stopped the heart for open heart surgeries, so
Yeah, that's a great. Oh my
it's a
goodness.
freaking awesome,
Thank you.
awesome question,
You've cured cancer.
right?
Katie, thank you. You've cured cancer.
Katie rocks. We like Katie. She always sends funny messages.
Thank you, Katie.
So that's something to ponder for sure. So
Yeah.
another thing I wanted to let everybody know, I'm going to give you a little, quick little, what is the words I'm looking for? I can't think of the words I'm looking for. I'm going to give you a little update of what we're going to be doing
Yes.
in the next season.
Got a lot of ideas.
I think you're going to enjoy it. First of all, as soon as I can find it, we have a phone number.
Yes.
And this phone number will allow you to call us and leave messages. And our number is 843-492-7966.
Write that down.
843-492-7966.
Nice.
So that's awesome. The message thing only leaves like a 2-minute. You only have like a 2-minute thing on the message. So if you have a long story, find a pause after 2 minutes and just call back and keep leaving messages.
Yeah.
If you send us voicemail messages, we will play them on the radio show so everyone can hear them. Yeah. When it comes to the emails, thedeadtimeradio@gmail.com, send us your first name and where you're at, your location. That's all we need. Ask anything you want, any questions. We're on Podbean. Podbean seems to be the app that everybody's using, but we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. We got really big things coming up.
Yeah.
You're going to find out because this is the season finale. I already put one little special surprise. We are actually going to have video. So you'll be able to see things that we read, things that we watch on YouTube, because we want to have videos of other people talking about stuff so we can listen and then give our thoughts as well.
Yeah.
there's just so much we want to do and so much that we're doing. We're really excited about it. I was excited about this whole episode all week, Dawn.
Yeah, me too. I found some books and dog-eared some pages, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited.
So we wanted to also start off by saying how we met, because
Oh yeah.
it's kind of a weird story if you think about it. It's almost like it was meant for it to happen.
Destiny.
Yeah. Dawn and I work in the same place, which I'm sure you've heard that before. She got hired about a month before I did.
Yes.
I was coming off of a travel assignment and decided to move to South Carolina because it was my second favorite place I've ever lived growing up. And I tried to get a job before I moved because that's the smart thing to do. And I got hired before my assignment was up. So as soon as it was up, I got down here and started my job here. And just out of the blue, one night she talked about how she wanted to do a podcast. It was one of her dreams to do a podcast. She thought it would be really awesome and really fun. And I told her, hey, I got lots of cool equipment. Want to do it together? And she said, sure. So she came over. Our first episode was Mandela Effect. It was a blast. Just listening to it while editing, it was incredible. It was fun. And this is how it was born.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, tell everybody else where you're from and what you've done and your likes and dislikes and stuff.
I am originally from a little place called Fair Forest, South Carolina. It's in Spartanburg, which is about an hour from Greenville. Small little place. I don't even think we have one red light. That's it. So, I went to high school at Dorman, graduated in 93. But my story's pretty similar to Billy's. I was a travel CT tech for a long time. Total cumulative about 4 years. And the COVID hit. And we were actually going to have everything paid off. I was going to do one more assignment, and then we were going to move here to Charleston. My aunt and uncle live here and cousins. And we come here every Christmas. So since the COVID was here, I had an assignment in Roswell, Georgia. Roanoke was the one before. Roswell, Georgia. And they were not extending my contract because they were actually getting rid of all of the travel techs. So they actually severed a contract with another guy that I was working with in CT. So I was like, oh. So I was actually without a paycheck for about 6 weeks because, when you're a travel CT tech, you save up a lot just in case that happens.
Right.
So I applied here at the hospital that we're working at, and I drove down one day and had my interview, and then they hired me. So I started as soon as because they have, different hiring weeks. You can't start on that day. You have to do your orientation. So orientation was online. I hate orientation online. I'd rather be there.
I liked it though because
did?
I didn't have to sit in a stupid room all day.
No, I had to sit in one stupid room for 10 hours.
Yeah, but if you did it fast like I did, you had the rest of the day off.
I didn't do it fast.
I did it fast.
I did.
I probably shouldn't say that.
I like
My
listened
boss is
to
gonna hear this and go,
She will.
"What the fuck, Billy?"
I was gonna be like, Billy, you need to redo your evaluation. Your 90 days. You did not complete your orientation, so you are no longer
I completed
working here.
it. I completed it. I just did it fast.
Yeah, you didn't.
I
do
didn't
it.
waste time. I don't believe in wasting time.
It's not wasting time. It's a lot of important information that we needed to know that we've already went through every 13
50 million
weeks.
orientations.
Every 13 weeks, you have to do an orientation at every hospital that you go to. So
Yes.
it's
And it's
kind of the
boring
same
and
stuff
horrible.
every time, but yeah,
We could probably teach a class on bloodborne pathogens.
totally.
What's your favorite stuff? Like your favorite subjects?
Like in school or like
No,
what
like
we talk about?
Yeah, like what are your favorite things to talk about and read about and stuff?
Like ghost stories. And
Yeah.
we're trying to get Billy to do more ghost stories, so that's in the works for next season too, because we've had a lot of people that are watching the ghost stories. That's like, we had a nurse that says, that's the first one I'm gonna listen to because I'm interested in that.
Well, here's
so.
the cool thing about the ghost stories next season. we can actually show video of ghosts.
Sweet.
Because I'm sure there's a shit ton of them on
Dude,
YouTube.
that's why I watch Slapped Ham. They're always showing videos. Oh, man, that's going to be super cool.
Yeah. So you guys, there's a lot in store next season. We're going to take some time off because we want to get everything solid. We want to bring a good quality program to you. And we got other things in the works. We're looking at maybe those that want to become a patron and you know, donate and stuff like that. You're going to get stuff for it. You're not just going to get a, hey, thanks for your money.
No.
We're going to get T-shirts and things made so you can have them. You can sport our swag.
Yes.
And let everybody know the coolest program that you listen to. What else we got going on?
Well, we had talked about the money that you donate for on Patreon. We're planning on going to a podcast conference.
Yeah.
So we're saving up money to do that, and that is in October. So we're super excited about that. But with our Patreons, you will have the monetization as to how much money you give. You get a T-shirt. And then with the second monetization, I will actually do a 30-minute tarot reading for you and a T-shirt. And then there's one up a little bit higher is an hour tarot reading and then a T-shirt. So we have a bunch of different stuff that's in the works.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
that'll be cool because your tarot reading will be recorded, so
Yes,
everyone can
so
hear
you'll
it,
get
unless
it.
you
Yeah.
don't want that,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
an
fine.
option. Yeah.
But it'll be cool, man.
Yes.
So those are some of the cool ideas we had. Don't forget, if you're using podcasts, there's a button up there that says "Become a Patron."
Yes.
If you want to donate, we're just asking. You don't have to. Everything's free still. Okay, so don't freak out and think we're begging because we don't need the money, but we'd like to use it for stuff for you guys
Yeah.
and to get merchandise and things like that.
Yeah.
And eventually get out of our fucking jobs
Well,
doing this instead, which would be fucking great.
Yeah, we love our jobs. We have fun, but it is a lot more busier with two people. It just seems.
Yeah,
it's
it gets
overwhelming
crazy.
some nights. It's so we do dream of becoming full-time podcasters, and
Dawn has been
thanks to you guys listening, will afford us to do all of these wonderful things. So thank you again.
I got to thank Dawn because she's the driving force behind all of this. She's the one that got me motivated to do it. She's the one that got me motivated to figure out what the format was going to be. We had, our pilot, which I wasn't very happy about with the quality. And if you've noticed, the quality of the actual podcast has gone up a little bit. And that's because I've been really working hard at getting really good sounds.
Yeah. He's been up since 4 a.m. today, just figuring all the
Dialed that shit in, though.
ins and out of everything. Yeah.
That's right.
I just come and sit and look pretty, and I do a little bit of research, and that's what I do. So I like it.
Yeah. And, we can't do this without you guys listening, and
Yeah.
we appreciate that more than you know.
Yeah.
So this episode's for you guys. We figured you'd like to know a little bit about us and what we do and where we've, our favorite things to talk about. We're also going to do some other cool stuff. We're going to start off right now. Dawn found a really cool website while we were working this weekend, and it's 39 creepy questions to get to know someone's dark side. That just sounds cool. So she's gonna read the questions and then we're gonna answer them. She'll ask me and then she'll answer the question as well. So you want to go ahead and start off?
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death?
I would say cause for me, because I don't really care when I die. I just don't want to die like some dumb way, like on the toilet.
I was gonna say like Elvis.
Yeah, or like having a heart attack because I beat off too hard or something.
Then you could die every day.
Right.
In the
and then
shower.
and then I'd be worried like when they bring me to the corner, I'd get one of those creepy ones because I'd still have a
Yeah.
chub. And he might do some shit to me.
Stupid. No.
I'm just saying it could happen,
I'm like, we're gonna save this as a specimen. Put this in a jar. Look at that.
right?
No, well, originally I said date of your death because if you know the day that you're going to die, you just be like, okay, I'm staying in bed. But with what Billy was saying about the cause of your death, if you know the cause of your death, you would just never do that. But then in that aspect, as to what we were talking about when I do a reading for people, you've changed it. You've changed your death. So your death date is still the same day, but then the cause of your death is changed because
Right.
you're not going to do that anymore. So I'm not really sure. I think maybe the date. I think I'm going to stick with the date of your death.
Well, you know, the other thing too is if you know the date of your death, you could be like, I could do whatever the fuck I want now.
Yeah.
I could do coke, I could do meth, I could do
Well, that wasn't
heroin.
what I was thinking about traveling, but
I
not
could
like
do hookers and blow.
I was thinking about travel. Like I could go here and here and
I could
here.
snort cocaine off the jugs of a giant boobed hooker.
Nice. Wow. he just opened the door and we just got a little glimpse of
I could rob a bank.
Billy's thought. Yeah.
I'd probably just lay in bed and be like, fuck it. All right, so what's the next question?
Let's see. What is the most disturbing thought that's ever run through your head during sex?
Please don't fart. Please don't fart. And that goes both ways, me or her. Just don't do it, please.
Okay, that is a very disturbing thought. But I don't know if they're talking about
What about you,
disturbing.
Dawn?
I don't know. I
You're
guess
kind
it
of
would be
nerdy.
the
You're probably
same.
thinking about, like, what if, can stars mate like
Yes,
this?
that's what I'm thinking. I'm
Fucking
totally
nerd.
going. I have to keep my card valid. We've talked about this.
Dork.
I have to keep my nerd card valid.
If there were space whales, how would they mate?
If I hold my breath, will I pass out?
Right.
Will my orgasm last longer if I hold my breath?
If I tried to astrally project while having sex, would my soul come back to my body or would it be forever lost? Would I still have a good orgasm?
Could I make it last on different
Right.
dimensions?
Exactly.
So if I astral project, can I have an orgasm here in this life, and can I also be having an
Right.
orgasm
Would I feel it on the
on
astral
Mars?
plane?
Yes. Yes,
Exactly.
that's the more. Yes, that's not to say I'm not worried about farting, but yeah, both of those things. Okay, do you like the taste of blood?
Yes. Does that make me creepy?
Yeah, sorta, but these are honest questions that we're asking no one but you and I.
taste of blood, Dawn.
It's not bad, like just a little bit, like when you bite your lip, because or if you cut your hand, you usually stick it straight in your mouth, and you're like, oh, and then so I don't mind the taste of blood, but not if you have a full-on nosebleed and it's running down the back of your throat. That is not a good taste of blood.
Post-nasal blood drip.
Yes.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Post-nasalage.
That's always fun.
No, and then you vomit it all up, and it looks like a murder scene. It's not good times.
Okay, I'm going to read the next one.
Okay.
Would you rather bleed out or be set on fire?
I'd say bleed out because you are going to pass out before you die. Being
feel the
set
same
on
way.
fire, like I have third-degree burns on my arm because I had a candle that had the paper around it, and the flame was starting to catch the paper. It had burned down past. The paper was basically holding the wax in. So I was trying to carry it to the bathroom to be able to pour out the wax. So what happened was it caught my arm on fire. So it was like the worst pain until it got to third degree, and then you don't feel anything, and that's not good either. So I don't have any freckles where my arm caught on fire.
Trust me, she has lots of freckles too. That's like the one spot, no freckles.
That's the one spot, yeah.
All right.
So I'd say I'd rather bleed out than be set on fire.
I feel the same way. I would rather bleed out because eventually you'll just go to sleep and
Yeah.
then you'll just never wake up.
Right.
Although, I don't know, I had an artery cut on my wrist from my psycho brother when I was a kid.
Jesus.
Love my brother. He's just crazy.
What?
And
Fuck.
it actually hurt. Like when the blood came out.
It hurt?
It hurt. Like
What, like the pressure of it?
Yeah,
or-
the pulsation of like when an artery gets cut. Wow. It hurt. It like had a little bit of a sting to it.
Ew.
So, I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt so much if it was like venous blood. Because
So
venous
the
blood just kind
arterial
of
blood-
leaks out.
Yeah.
But arterial blood, you know, that
Squirts
shit's
out.
squirting out.
Yeah. But that means you're going to die faster.
Probably.
If you have arterial
If you're going to do it here.
carotids,
Get the carotids.
the bilateral carotids. But then you'd be like the other guy that we talked about, where you can see his trachea breathing.
Ugh,
Blech. Okay.
that was gross.
That was totally gross.
Ew.
Blech.
If you were trapped on an island, would you rather resort to cannibalism or die of starvation?
Oh. Well, you said you'd eat someone's ass. I don't know. I don't know.
As in, like, their ham hocks or
their
tongue
butt.
punch the fart box? Because there's more than one way to eat an ass. You fellas know what I'm talking about.
No. I don't know. I think that's a hard one because if you are a cannibal and you live, then you're going to have like remorse that you ate someone to stay alive.
Would you, though?
Like, are they alive or did they die? So, like, I would have to have more information. So,
Well, the
die
best,
of starvation,
the best meat
it would
is a fresh
cause, it
kill.
would hurt. Because if you don't, like, if I don't eat, I hurt. Like, my insides hurt. So,
Yeah.
Cannibalism is, you're just saving yourself. So, it's selfish. So, I have a hard time with this one. I would probably. I don't know. I would probably start to die of starvation, and then if I got too hungry, then I would eat your face. So,
Well, didn't you see that movie about the Peruvian football team that crashed up in the Andes Mountains?
no,
And they had to resort to cannibalism.
no.
They ate like the friends that died. And
So
it was
they
like,
gave
well, the
their
Donner
life for
Party
you.
was the same way, going through Donner Pass.
Yeah, I did hear that on a podcast.
Yeah, they became cannibals. Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, self-preservation, I guess.
Yep.
If they're already dead, they're donating their body to science, which
That's right.
is your stomach, I guess.
If you,
But do you get sick on that? We were just talking about getting sick on blood. Do you get sick if you're eating human flesh? Because I've heard that if you eat human flesh, then you get sick. But either
I
way,
think it
you're
depends on how you cook it.
really.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had it. I've never had it, Dawn.
Hannibal Lecter says the brain is the best, but I don't know.
I don't even eat cow brain because that's just disgusting.
Yeah, I've never tried it. My dad had cow brains and eggs a lot.
I
of
don't
mornings.
eat filter organs and I
doesn't
don't
smell
eat
good.
brains.
You don't eat filter organs?
No, so I don't eat livers.
Okay, so you don't bleed once a month. So when you need the iron, I crave filter organs, I guess, which is high in iron. So I like.
I'd rather
chicken
chew
livers.
on fucking iron rebar.
I don't think you're
That's
gonna
high
get
in
your
iron.
iron from iron chewing on iron rebar.
Fuck that.
I think you'd rather have chicken livers with some ketchup.
No,
fried
that's,
up really crispy.
That sounds horrid.
It's delicious.
Yuck.
Or some liver and onions. Yeah.
Ugh. You just named two things that I would probably barf if I
So
put it in my
I would
mouth.
have my choice of liver.
See, there you go. You would be able, if we were
I could-
cannibals
you
and
could
we
eat
were
the
the only
ass.
two survivors, I would eat the ass and you can eat the livers.
There's only one, by the way. How many
Well,
livers are
if
we?
there's
one
multiple
per-
dead people,
Okay, we're just talking about. I haven't thinking we're talking about one. You're talking about.
I'm talking like a plane crash.
Okay, you're trapped on an island. It doesn't say plane crash.
Well, I'm just, in my mind, my island, this is what it looks like.
Okay.
Okay? It's
got more than
me
one
and
person.
one hot chick survive, and everyone else is dead.
What if it's the ugly chick?
I just said hot chick.
No. That's not going to be.
And I will make her gourmet meals out of other humans. And she will fall in love with me. And she will like, Billy, you are the best gourmet chef ever. I love this toe.
Nice.
It's like juicy and
hamburger toe.
delicious.
Oh, I got hamburger toe blood on me this weekend.
Right? Ew, that was so
It
nasty.
was so nasty.
All right. So if someone you loved committed a gruesome murder, would you help them cover it up?
I think yes, but I'd have to have more information. Like, was it in a, was somebody cheating on you? Like, I need more information. So I would say yes, but I need more information so that I would make a better decision. But if you like something happened to my son, say somebody he's riding his bike, somebody hits him with a car, my husband murders that person, then yes, I wouldn't say a word because I think that's justified. So in my mind, that would be one of the reasons.
That's right.
If you hurt anybody in
Don't
my
fuck
family
with
or
the
any of my
family.
animals, you're done.
Yeah.
So.
I'm the same way. It would depend on why you killed them. Then I would help you. But if it was just like, I don't know, man, I was just walking down the street and I just wanted to stab this motherfucker in the neck 50 times.
No.
Can you help me hide the body?
You're on
Be
no.
like, no, dude, I can't help you with that. Sorry.
No,
I'm a
I
little
got-
busy.
No, I don't want to see the inside.
I gotta
of
go
a
make some
jail cell.
pretzels.
I gotta go make some pound cake.
Would you rather see the ghost of a stranger or of someone that you love?
I see the ghosts of strangers all the time, so I would like to see someone that I love because I have not seen my dad yet. He comes to me in dreams, but I have not seen him, like, seen him. So I would say someone that I love. What would you say?
I would say I don't ever get to see ghosts, so any ghost would be all right with me. I'm not lucky enough to ever have seen a ghost.
I think you're in your own head most time, though. Like at work, you're in, like, military mode. Like, you have a mission.
I got a lot of. I do everything very logically.
Yeah.
I always have.
Yeah.
So
I feel things come in different in my filter. I don't,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I was very military when I was a kid too. So
Were you? I guess
Yeah,
you'd
I
have to
grew
be
up
if
in
you
it.
grew up that way from
yeah,
your dad.
and then I was in it as well. So
Yeah.
it just kind of sticks with you. All right. Which horror movie monster do you think is the deadliest?
Horror movie monster. Ugh. Are we talking about like psychological monster? Because like we were talking about Hannibal Lecter. I think he is a monster. But I don't. Give me some ideas. I don't know.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
Jason
yes.
Voorhees.
Ugh.
Michael Myers.
Blah. Yeah, I'd say Freddy
Candyman.
because you have to sleep. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but see,
Candyman with the
you-
bees.
You have to sleep though for Freddy to come around.
I know, but like if I'm sitting here and I take a nap, then Freddy's shooting his nails through my chest. So I think maybe Freddy's a good one.
I think that Leatherface is probably the deadliest
Why?
because that motherfucker knows his way around a chainsaw. I'm just saying. And he's like dumb and like brutish.
So he's the deadliest.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he just. I mean, Michael Myers is pretty good too because he's stealthy.
Yeah.
He just shows up out of nowhere.
He's just standing there. The big burly dude
Yeah.
just standing there. Yeah, I want to hide. So I would think psychological. Somebody that knows you and is staring you in the face and sitting right beside you. That's even more deadly in my opinion.
Yeah.
That they've been planning it all along and they've befriended you and they've gained your trust and then they're like, you're dead. I mean,
Right.
your brain with some fava beans.
Fava
Liver.
beans.
Liver with some fava beans.
Ugh. All right. Would you rather be eaten alive by wolves or eat another human alive? Tough call.
I say if I'm out there, I don't know. Because if the wolf comes to eat you, then you could kill the wolf. So it would be the fight to the death with the wolf, I
Like
think.
that Liam Neeson movie. Did you see that one? Where he fought
is
like
that
a
where-
whole pack of wolves?
Yeah, that would be me. Like I'm not going down just laying down and letting you.
I ain't going down
It's
like a
gonna be-
bitch.
It's gonna be road. I'm gonna like bite you.
You're gonna
and
get all
Roadhouse,
Patrick
and
Swayze
I'm gonna
on him?
totally get Patrick Swayze on your ass. Wolves, come on, wolves.
I would say the same. I would rather get eaten alive by wolves, but I would try to turn into Mowgli and become a wolf child so that they would take me in. So they wouldn't want to eat me because I was their
Their
child.
necessities,
Exactly.
the simple, their
Exactly.
necessities. Nice.
All right, what's the next one? You read it.
How often do you think about death?
Never,
Every day.
because I'm already dead inside.
Dead.
I am. I'm
Okay, we're
dead
trying to
inside.
change that. We're trying to change that. We're trying to get Billy positive. No, I think about it every day. And when you have, I have a husband and a child that I would die for, so you think about death every day because you're thinking about, I have too much to lose right now. I don't want to die. So, plus you've prepared. You have your life insurance policy. I mean, it's just, I think about it every day.
I mean,
And you wake up and you think to be here. So you're thinking about death because you were given another day. So therefore, you wake up in the morning, you're thinking about death because you didn't die the night before. So
The only way that I'm thinking about death is I'm fucking like preparing for the day that the giant asteroid comes and kills all of humanity, because then it'll be a good day.
okay, this is why I need video because I just gave the look like, no,
Oh yeah.
no.
Go ahead. What's the next one?
Ooh, if you were a necrophiliac, which celebrity would you want to dig up? Ew.
That's a tough one.
Okay, we got to say what necrophiliac is because some people may not know what
A
necrophiliac.
necrophiliac is somebody who has an obsession with having sex with corpses.
Dead people.
So
which
there's
celebrity
that.
would you want to dig up?
Good
Somebody
God.
that's already died then. So it has to be, which I mean, pretty much everyone that we grew up with is pretty much died
Carrie
off,
Fisher.
you know. Carrie Fisher. Okay, she's Princess Leia.
Yes.
I gotcha.
And that was my first crush.
Yeah, so that makes sense for you.
Yes, absolutely. Carrie, I'm coming for you. Let me
let's
get my
say-
shovel, baby. We're
I'd
gonna
say
take it.
James Dean.
James Dean.
Yes.
Was that one of your first crushes?
I had his poster well, not one of my first crushes, but
Jimmy
I did have his
Dean.
posters all over my wall. He had those long legs and smoked cigarettes and had on the white t-shirt. He was just beautiful. So I'd say James Dean.
Interesting.
Yeah. What's the most disturbing song someone could play while having sex? I love you, you love me.
I was thinking It's a Small World After All. That would give me a complex, I think. I will tell you I will tell you the song that I can't listen to for like I wasn't able to listen to it for years, and that was the song "Beds Are Burning" by Midnight
Good
Oil.
one. See if we
Do you know why?
if we could just play the little
I lost
snippet.
my virginity to that song.
What?
And I actually lost my virginity to that whole CD, and I just put it on repeat. So I heard those songs all fucking night.
So it was a night. Your loss of virginity was a nightmare.
Yeah, of course, it was a terrible nightmare. It really was. Because the girl that I had lost my virginity to, I found out was a little bit of a loosey goosey around
Is this
town.
the ant lady?
No.
Okay, this is
no.
not the ant lady. Okay,
No,
this
this
is a
was way back. So, I mean, and I was already nervous because it was my first time, and
So
you know,
you want to have an experience your first time with someone that knows
oh,
what
my
they're
experience
doing.
sucked ass.
Well, that knows what they're doing. So
No,
you're not,
she didn't
like,
know what she was doing
bumping
either.
around. Oh,
It was like basically like question number 13 that you just asked. It was like me being a necrophiliac. She just fucking laid
don't
there.
lay there dead. No.
She just laid there, you know, and I was like a 2-pump chump. So,
Oh no.
and you know, I spent like 90% of the time doing the stuff, getting the moves going. You know, it was just horrible.
Two
was
pump
just
chump. We're gonna
bad.
put that's gonna be on a T-shirt.
2-pump chump. Don't be a 2-pump chump.
I'd say the Barney's any children's song
Yeah.
that you hear looped in your car. So yeah,
I do say sometimes I do get a boner when I hear Beds Are Burning, though.
I bet you do.
How can we dance when our birth is turning? All right. What's the next one?
That's your burned alive one. That was the burned
Right.
alive question. That's why you don't want to be burned alive.
Probably not.
Let's see. Oh, did you roll up? Okay, I gotta find out where we are now.
See? Right there.
Would you ever stay the night in an abandoned house that everyone claims is haunted? Okay, let me pause here. This is what we're gonna do for our Patreon. So we're gonna actually make some episodes that our Patreons will be able to see. So this is one of the ones that we want to do is stay in an abandoned house here in Charleston because they're everywhere. So we're gonna stay or a room like a hotel, or they claim that the hotel room is
Abso-fucking-lutely.
haunted. So this answer is yes, and you guys will be able to see it.
This is an absolutely, positively, it's fucking happening. When? We
happening.
don't know yet, but it's happening.
Yep. So we're and then we're gonna show you video. We're gonna be like one of those ghost hunter shows or the snippets and EMFs and all the things. We're going to do all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do to defend yourself if someone broke into your house?
I have multiple things that I could do. I have a firearm on my nightstand. I have a firearm in other places. I have my rifle, and I have my swords on the wall. So, whichever one is the closest, someone's either getting shot or stabbed. That's
Okay,
just the way it goes.
So there's a machete at the top of the bed. So I'd just grab the
Nice.
machete, and then I
Machete.
would ninja walk up because I already scare the crap out of people because they say that I'm a ninja. They don't hear me coming. So then I would probably do like with those shinobi swords where I would like shing, and then they would still be standing there,
Be like
and then
Kill
it'd
Bill.
be like slide off the top, and you're like, yeah, bitch, break into my house, tell your friends.
Oh, that's funny as shit.
The machete is not that sharp, but that's the way I imagine it in my head. So, machete.
Machete.
Machete. That was a good movie. I love that guy.
Awesome. Did you see the second movie?
No,
It
I
was
think I just
even
saw the
better.
first one. Was it?
Yes.
I don't like second movies because they're
Oh
usually
my
not
God,
as
it was
good.
fucking
no,
amazing.
they're usually not that good. Okay,
And
I'll
then they
probably
did the
watch
whole
it then.
like fake trailer thing at the end, and it was Machete in space.
No.
Yes. It was amazing.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yes.
I don't like second movies, so I just don't even
Well,
give
they're
them a chance.
hilarious. Both of the that's I mean
I'm
the
not.
whole thing was hilarious. The first movie and the second one is just oh my God, you're gonna love it. You have to watch it.
Oh, I'm totally going to. That's on the list now. If there was a zombie apocalypse, which one of your friends would die first?
Whichever one can not run faster than me with a broken knee.
Because you broke it.
Yeah. You're damn right.
Which one of my friends would die first? I'm sorry, Katie, but it would probably be Katie
Oh, that's
because
rude.
she would fall, and the zombie would get her. So she knows. Okay, so we went on a girls' cruise,
Oh Christ.
and sorry, Katie, I'm totally telling the story because I have a podcast. So we went on a girls'
If
cruise.
you had your own you could tell your side of the story.
So, because Katie was going with us, so if you get hurt in a foreign country, if you don't have a passport, if you're in an emergency room there and the boat leaves, you can't get back into the country. So, Stephanie and I think Katie already had her passport. So we went and got our passports because we were going with Katie. So the ironic thing is Stephanie got hurt and it wasn't Katie. So, but I would have to say it would probably be Katie because she would fall. Sorry, Katie. I
That's
love
just
you.
mean.
I love you.
It's just mean.
So write me an email and we will read it on the show.
Do you think death by drowning or death by electrocution would be more painful? I would say drowning.
I would say drowning because electrocution.
It could be
Do
fast.
they get? Yeah, it's like zip, you're done.
You could have a heart attack and then your heart just stops.
But drowning, I've had to hold my breath, almost
Yeah.
drown, and your lungs, like you feel like you're gonna burn. It burns and
Yeah,
it
it
hurts,
sucks.
and you know it's coming. And electrocution is just like, blip, you're done.
Right?
So, do you think death by drowning? Yeah, I think death by drowning would be more painful because you all these thoughts, and you're just like, oh shit, what did I not do in my life that I should have done? So,
If you met a vampire, would you let it bite you for eternal life or would you shove a stake in its heart?
I'd shove a stake in its heart. I don't want eternal life. I think you have your life and then you've set your death date and when your soul's done with what it's supposed to be doing. And I think I would shove a stake in its heart. So
I would let him bite me.
you would?
Yeah. Because I already
You
like the
said
nighttime
you're dead
anyway.
already. So
know,
you would
see?
eternal
There you go.
life be dead?
It'd be undead.
You would never have any happiness because you're already unhappy
well, I'm already unhappy.
for the rest of your
So it's all good.
forever. It wouldn't be the rest
it's
of your
a
life.
win-win,
It'd be the
Dawn.
forever.
It's a win-win.
Forever.
Here's why I would do it, though. I could go around and, like, kill criminals and take care of nasty people and just suck their blood and kill them.
So you'd be a vigilante.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd never be
And you
on
would
camera.
have a harem.
Yeah. You're damn right I would.
Never be on camera.
I'd never be on camera. I could
Yeah.
walk into a bank and take all the money and they'd never know
Just
who
be
did
like,
it.
Peace,
They'd
bitches.
be like, wow, I've never seen a magic trick like money floating in midair walking out of the bank. That's right.
Wow.
I'm down with that.
Nice. I would shove a stake in your heart.
See, I wouldn't try and bite you though. It'd be like my favorite cop show, Forever Night. You would be like the coroner,
Oh.
and I would be like
You would
the
keep me alive so you
vampire
could use
detective.
me. And then maybe right before I died when I was like 85 and I had
When
all
you
these
begged
wrinkles.
and asked, and you'd be like, I
And
don't
then
want to die yet,
no.
Billy.
I'd be like, see you.
Then you'd be like
find
an-
me again because I know you're a fucking vampire.
Then
so when I
you'd
come
be like
back.
a Betty White vampire.
Oh, I love Betty White.
I
She
do
should
too.
be president, man.
She's like 90 something. She
She's
just had another birthday.
Awesome. She did. She just had her birthday.
And she looks great for her age.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think aloofness keeps you alive.
Maybe. She's
You just
funny.
have no idea. You're not going to get stressed out because you don't know what to stress out about.
And I think she just has zero fucks to give anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't, I mean, I love her.
Would you rather murder 3 innocent children or watch 3 of your loved ones die in front of you?
Oh, God, I'm not answering this question. This is one of those moral ones that you have to do. And
I would rather watch loved ones die in front of me because I don't think anything bad should happen to children.
I don't know. I watched
I
that.
believe the children are the future. That was a good segue.
That was beautiful. Okay, so no, I watched that zombie movie where the guy had the big stake of wood with like barbed wire wrapped around it. I'm sure you guys are yelling at the podcast right now.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. So he beat the crap. I mean, I don't know if I guess I would have to see 3 loved ones die in front of me because I would not want to.
I just don't like seeing kids hurt. I mean, it bothers me when they come into the
So
ER
this
and we have
says,
to
would
scan
you
them.
rather murder 3 innocent? So you're doing it.
No.
It says, would you rather
Yeah.
murder 3 innocent children or watch
3 of your loved ones die.
in front of it? So it would have to be watch because I'm not
I
murdering
couldn't kill
anybody.
kids.
No
kids, I don't like any
No.
of the bad things that happen to kids. They're so innocent and there's
Yep.
no reason for it.
Nope.
You know, wait until they become asshole adults and then murder them. That's the way I look at it. I mean, there are some kids that are little assholes, but they don't deserve bad shit
Yeah, but that's
yet.
only because their parents are assholes.
douchebags.
Yeah. They're trying to get attention because their parents aren't giving them attention because their
Right.
parents are assholes.
All right.
Usually,
You read
anyway.
the next ones.
Okay. If aliens came to Earth, would you want us to welcome them or kill them?
Welcome them.
You know me. I would say welcome them.
I saw
wanna know
enough
what you
Star
know.
Trek and
You
Star
know?
Wars. There's some hot aliens out there. I'd be like, why don't you come over to my house, baby? I make a killer rack of ribs.
What are they, vegetarians?
I can make vegan ribs. Do you need methane to breathe? Because I can fart all day if you need me to.
Yes, you could. You could totally breathe life into them.
That's right.
You totally could.
See? Always thinking, Dawn.
Oh,
Always
God,
thinking.
you've totally thought this. No, I would welcome them. I want to know what they know. And I think that's why we have all the technology that we've had. Because even TV is only like 100 years old. And the leaps and bounds that we've come within the last 20 years.
Yeah, it
we
seems
have
a little
to have,
quick.
Yeah, we have to have some alien intelligence that are guiding us, that are teaching us. You're
Do you-
not just going to know it. Somebody's got to be
Do you know what
locked
we
in
call
a
that,
cell
Dawn?
somewhere that is teaching all of this stuff. What do you call that?
Do you know what we call that?
What?
Foreshadowing. That will be an episode.
Ooh. Okay.
Just saying.
Yes, I'd say welcome them. Okay. Here's a question for you, Billy. If there's a hell, do you think you're going there?
Dawn, let me explain something to you. Not only am I going, but I'm driving the fucking bus.
There's a bus. There's a
Driven
bus.
by me. And there's going to be some fucking awesome heavy metal music
So-
the whole way down. Because me and Lucy, we're tight. We're like this. He's here. I'm here.
I thought you're pagan.
I am pagan, but that
There's no
doesn't mean
hell.
I can't hang out with Lucifer.
I know, but it's a question. Is like your mythical world. Is there a hell? And do you think you're going? So are you driving the bus there to see what's happening and then driving back? Or like-
Vikings have hell too, you know. In fact, hell is the name of the person who runs it. And it's a female. We're friends.
Are you now? Nice. That's a beautiful story. That's why.
I'm
Is
just
she
saying.
naked and topless? Is
Of
she
course
topless?
she is. All women in my brain are naked and topless.
Okay. What's the meanest thing that you ever hoped happened to someone?
That they slid under a gas truck and tasted their own blood.
Jesus Christ on a cracker. That's vivid.
When
you should
I
write
hate,
books.
I actually got that from Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, is that what he
Yeah,
said?
he said that one time in a stand-up thing. He said something like, "I hope you slide under a gas truck and taste your own fucking blood." It was funny as
just
shit.
Andrew Dice
Fucking
Clay.
love Andrew Dice Clay.
I have imagined mean things happening to people, and they did not come true. So I'm not going to say what's the meanest thing I ever hope happened to someone. So, because I still hope it happens to that person. So.
I think it had something to do with anal prolapse.
Is that what it is? My dream
Yeah,
is anal
yeah.
prolapse.
That they had an anal prolapse and then bled to death in their underwear.
Wow.
Am I close?
No, no, not even. No. Nope. We're just moving on.
Yes.
Would you rather eat a chunk of human heart or an entire human eye? Ooh.
That's an easy one. Human heart.
Blah.
Because it's a muscle, just like steak. And I've never
An
tried it, but I've
eyeball?
heard that like deer heart is really good.
Oh.
So if it's anything like deer heart,
I think heart too, because I'm just imagining a human eye, because I know that's where they take your fluid out of your eye to see if you have any drugs in your system or whatever, and then it deflates like one of those ping pong balls that's been
creepy.
popped. So if you're eating it, you'd have to bite it, and then all that fluid would like
well, there's like
go
some
in
crunchy
your
sound
mouth,
that it
and
makes
then it-
too when you eat it. Because there's people that eat like goat eyes and shit.
and it pops and
Yeah,
oh no,
it's like
It'll be
the gross, everlasting
grossest-
gobstopper.
tomato you've ever
I don't like tomatoes
Popped
anyway,
into.
so ugh.
yeah. Well, nope, human heart.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I think
It
we
says
agree on
a
that
chunk of human heart. It doesn't say an entire. It says a
one.
chunk.
It's probably
going to
be the same
or the
size as a
entire
human eye.
I know, but I think a human heart.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
So 25, we're actually going to do on an episode. Have you ever tried to contact a spirit with an Ouija board? So that is an episode. Stay tuned.
I have, but I've had a really crazy experience with Ouija boards back when I was in the military, and I'll have to tell you the story sometime. It's pretty trippy.
I'd say save it for the episode,
Yeah,
the
it's,
Ouija board episode.
it
Or
was
just
when
give
I
a little taste.
Well, it was when I first started learning about paganism and stuff, and there was a few of us. We got drunk, and of course, you always get drunk before you use a Ouija board because it's the best time to do it. And it just really got strange. Some strange things happened after that week that
Yeah.
just blew my mind.
Yeah, you've opened the door, so you kind of
Right?
before you open the door, you have to say a prayer that only love and light come through. So
I will submit
because there
this.
are, I'm saying that if you open a Ouija board, the dark's coming through first.
Well, I will submit that it is true that you can't just throw it in the trash
No,
because it comes back.
Yeah.
And that shit is real. Trust me, people. It happened. I was there. All right. What's the next one?
next one. Okay, if the opportunity presented itself, would you watch your crush get undressed through their window? I know you're going to answer this one.
You're asking me.
Yeah.
You're asking me. Mm-hmm. Would I stand and look in a
Peek.
chick's window
Yes.
of my crush? Yes. Of course I would.
I would
If
too.
I wasn't going to get caught, god damn, yes,
yeah.
I would.
I'd make a video so I could watch it every day. It's creepy much?
Right?
I'd say yes to that. Would
Yeah.
you watch your crush get undressed?
That's
through
probably
their
about
window?
as creepy as I would get, though.
Just watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd feel a little weird about it, but it'd be a nice show, I think. All right, what's the next one?
Unless they fumble around and then they got to have like
No,
Hold on to the
what would be my
wall or-
luck is
Like they have
I
to
would
get
have
their
the
foot-
opportunity and I would look and she'd be undressing and then some big burly fucking dude walks in right afterwards and they start going at it.
or what if she took her
And I'm
like
standing there like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me.
she's wearing a granny bra and then she's got blood in her underwear that you're like looking at all that nasty. There you go. Think about that one.
Yuck.
Yeah. And then or she takes off like her Spanx and then she looks like Ant Woman.
Oh my goodness.
Would you rather have sex with elderly people for the rest of your life or never have sex again? Okay, we were talking about this past weekend. So what's your answer?
Old people need love too, Don.
So what I was saying is we are going to be elderly people and we are going to be having sex with elderly people. So I would
Speak for yourself.
sex with elderly people.
I mean, technically, if I'm
You're older than
masturbating,
me.
isn't that still having
You're
sex
having
with
sex with
elderly
an
people?
old. Yes, you are. You're already having sex with elderly people. Plus, they could take their teeth out and do some magical.
Oof. Now you get me all worked up. How old are we talking?
It just says elderly people.
Because I just need to know if I need to get
Who
some
wrote
KY
this?
or not. Might be a little desiccated.
It might be cremains floating around.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, I lost my place.
Have you ever masturbated while someone else was in the room with you?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yes, we're just gonna say yes and leave that one there.
Have you ever had the urge to jump in front of a car? Every goddamn day.
Yeah, because that was when I was a lot younger, to see if I could jump out of the way of the car, like jump in front of the car and then jump out of the way of the car. I've also had an urge to jump off the side of a mountain, like you're looking over and I don't know, it's just, yeah, I have had the urge.
Yeah.
So
I've had the urge to jump in front of a car and be like, release me. But it's
then
never
you
happened.
flip over the top of it and then
Yeah.
you break your wrist. And
Then I
it's not
think,
good.
nah, I better stick around.
Yeah,
Somebody
I'm gonna
might-
go.
Someone
get
might miss me.
There's an ice cream store there. Let's just go over to get some ice cream.
If you witnessed a murder, would you go to the cops or keep your mouth shut?
I would say keep my mouth shut because we lived in Alhambra, California, and there was a murder at a coffee shop. The coffee shop was full, and no one saw anything because of who was performing the murder and who was getting murdered. I would keep my mouth shut. I'm staying
I
out
think it
of it.
would
Like I tell
depend.
my son, I'm like, you stay out of it. That's none of your business. So
I think it would depend on the situation. Like, if I saw some chick with, like, black eyes and her face all cut up and she's fucking beating a dude with a shovel, and I find out, like, that was her boyfriend who was beating her,
yeah,
then I'd be like, you have at it, girl. You want me, you want me help?
yep.
I'll help you dig the hole.
We have a lot of patients that come in with husbands or boyfriends that do that. So it just is one part of our job that I do not like. So,
What's the creepiest thing you've ever done when you had a crush on someone?
back in the day, making a mixtape.
That's not creepy.
It is. I'm playing music that I like. I don't know what they like. I don't even know this person.
Well, if you have a crush on them, I'm sure you know a little bit about them.
Just that they're hot.
Well,
I'm like a mega nerd, so that's the creepiest thing I've ever done.
the creepiest thing I've ever done, and I don't know why it's considered creepy, but it's because, like, I am. It's all logic with me. It's like cut and dry. I'm very direct on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And mine was finding out a piece of information about them and then sharing it with them. And they were like, where'd you fucking find that out?
You were blackmailing them.
No. Like good information. Like I saw a picture of them with a guitar. So I was like, hey, do you still play guitar? And they're like, how the fuck did you know that? It's like, if you got a
So you
fucking
were
Facebook
stalking.
page and your picture is there and I just look at your name and you pop up and that's the first picture I see, that's not really fucking creepy. You have a public page. So, yeah.
So stalking is illegal,
But I wasn't stalking.
but you're Facebook stalking.
How is that stalking, though? I'm just, like, looking at pictures.
Okay, I hear you.
I mean,
I
I'm
hear
not-
your rationale.
I'm not sending fucking creepy emails and shit to them. I'm just trying to get to know them, see what they like to do, that stuff like that. I don't know.
Okay, that's a good one.
I don't know. If you guys think it's creepy, sorry. I'm not trying to be creepy. I'm just trying to get
No,
to
I'm
know
sure a
you
lot of
better.
people have done that.
Yeah. All right, you read the next one.
Have you ever had a dream about dying? Yes, I think it was a past life experience because I have it a lot, and I hit the ground and I float above my body, and yeah, I have the same dream.
I don't think I've ever had a dream about dying, but I've had dreams about almost dying. Never actually dying. But I've also had dreams like where I'm in like war and I got my rifle and I'm trying to pull the trigger and nothing's coming out.
Oh God.
And I'm like surrounded by the enemy and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I can't find any rifle that as soon as I pick it up, it won't fire.
Oh.
And it's just weird.
That sounds horrible. That's why they have bayonets on the end of some of them because
Well,
you don't have any more bullets.
In my dreams, I didn't have any bayonet. Otherwise, I would have been like, samurai!
Soda!
So,
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Have you ever had a dream about killing someone?
Yeah. I had a dream and that like it was like a recurring dream and I don't know why, but I had a dream that I killed somebody. Like I broke into this person's house and was like robbing stuff and then I killed them and then like I woke up feeling guilty.
Oh.
Like seriously guilty. And I was
you
like,
did it.
I never really killed anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, oh my God, they're going to find out and I feel really bad about it. It was just weird. It was a weird dream. A couple times I've had it.
I have to say no. I've never, like in my dreams, like I've dreamt like watching the ID channel that I wanted to kill somebody, but like in for real life, but never like wake up and you've dreamt that you killed someone. So
Well, if
Billy
that
says that the ID channel, every woman watches the ID channel planning
yeah.
someone's murder. So
they're planning murders.
everywhere.
If my answer, if that wasn't creepy enough, creepier than the whole Facebook thing, I don't know what to tell you guys. I look at things as very direct. So yeah, that's the way it is. And I'm a very honest person. I'm very like open. I'm not afraid to tell you the answer of a question, whether you like me or not. It's just the way it is.
All right. So if you were asked to film a horror movie, what would the plot be?
That's a tough one. Something with clowns in it because I don't like clowns.
Your horror movie would
Yeah, because
have clowns,
clowns
in
are creepy as fuck.
Oh.
John Wayne Gacy was a clown.
Oh, he was the one. Oh. Okay, so I'm actually writing a book. I've been writing it forever, and I just haven't finished it. The plot is the guy's a murderer, but no one knows he's a murderer.
Like Dexter.
Kind of like Dexter, yeah. It's a little bit of a twist. So he's dating this girl, and she's a forensic anthropologist, and he's off at a conference, and she's called out because there's been a bone found on his property, and she uncovers all these things, and she's questioning who he is, and all the normal book stuff. So, yeah, that's what my plot would be.
Not bad.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a ghost, a spaceship, or anything else you couldn't rationally explain? Where I've already said from on the last episode that, yeah, you'll have to listen to that one.
I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen a spaceship. One of the weirdest things I ever did see, though, was we exhumed a body that was 10 years buried because this is when I was still an X-ray tech student in the military, and they brought the body in because the husband was active duty at the time, and they were reopening the investigation of her death because they thought maybe he murdered her. And the weirdest thing, after 10 years, I didn't realize there's still skin and stuff on the body. Mm-hmm. It was just fucking strange. The strangest thing I know that's like not exactly what the question is asking, but I just couldn't rationally explain how the skin could be so well preserved, and it was like the layers were peeling up like parchment. It was just strange. It was really cool.
It's no longer ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The box that we purchased is sealed,
Right.
airtight. There's no worms crawl in, worms crawl out, worms play pinochle on your snout. There's none of that. It's like
I've never
You're
heard that before.
Y'all write in. It's totally saying. So you're sealing it. So, I mean, you're going to be similar to where you are from when they put you in there. But 10 years, yeah, you're going to probably rot. But chances are you have formaldehyde on board and all the other stuff. So.
Probably.
But that does sound wicked. So, yes, I've seen a ghost. Yes, I've seen a spaceship. And anything I couldn't rationally explain. Some of those videos where people and cars just show up out of nowhere and wreck, those I can't explain. Those would be like alternative world where they slip over into this world.
Right.
Then what about the people that are in the car? Do they know they're doing it, or is it just like they're locked in this world now? I just have a lot of questions about that.
Did you ever see the video they show of this guy? It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He's in a parking garage. He's naked. He's running, and he runs into like one of those big SUVs, like a Ford Explorer, and breaks through the fucking glass of the back hatch.
No.
And then pulls himself out and runs off.
Like a deer?
Yeah, but he's like,
Is he on something?
I don't know, but he was like, he should have been dead.
So we get video, we'll be able to pull that up and show that on
Yeah,
there.
it's pretty cool. I saw
That's
that on the
wicked.
History Channel where they show like strange videos and stuff,
we're totally
unexplained
gonna do that.
videos.
We're going to do that
Fuck yeah.
next season. Stay tuned.
If you killed someone, how would you get rid of the body?
This is totally going to like tell people how I would do it, but I would feed from the neck down to an alligator or a pig, because they eat everything, even down to the bone. And the head I'd probably put in a wood chipper. Because alligators can't eat skulls because
I think you can get caught with the evidence in a wood chipper, though. There would be particles left over.
Yeah, but you'd have to find the wood chipper.
Well, unless you got one that you bought a long time ago, you gotta rent it, and your name's on the rental.
No, I'm not going to rent it. In this, I own a farm.
Okay,
And then I have my own wood chipper because I create black mulch, so it's just going to look like black mulch.
Oh, man. I would do it one of two ways. I would either go full on Breaking Bad and just get a big barrel and put that acid that he says is really good and throw him in there.
Okay.
Or I would butcher him up and feed him to my fucking enemies.
Ooh.
Like that movie Motel Hell. You ever
Is
see
that
that
what
one?
you're doing? Because you bring me food all the time.
No, you're not my enemy.
How do we know this?
You're not my enemy. If you came
that's
back as a ghost, whose life would you make a living hell? Probably mine.
Oh, no. My ex-husband, no doubt about it. It would be relentless. It would be every day, all the time, singing Henry VIII I Am like on Ghost. It's fucking, you are going to not sleep for the next 82 days and you're going to put a bullet in your mouth. That's it.
Mine would be Nancy Pelosi.
Why?
Because I fucking hate that woman.
What? I mean, what? You don't like her. Why would you spend that time?
Because I would make her life a living hell.
Oh, like I just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? The same dealio? The same situation?
Oh,
where
I
you
would do
wanted it?
worse. I would pee in all of her expensive ice cream, so there'd be ghost pee in it. She'd be like, "This tastes different." Her fucking shaky ass head. I can't stand that woman.
Tell us how you really feel.
Would you rather have an arm hacked off or a leg?
I would say arm, but I would hope I could choose the arm, because legs, you want to be able to walk around and run and yeah.
I would say arm because I can't shoot a gun with my feet. I
But
can't play a guitar with my
But
feet.
you can. There's people that do it.
I can't play video games with my feet. And I can't play keyboard with my feet.
So you'd hack a leg off.
So the leg would be gone.
Okay.
And then I'd have a really kick-ass wheelchair with like a fucking go-kart engine in it.
Ooh, now that's a good point, because maybe I'm changing mine to leg, because they have those
You wouldn't be able to,
bionic legs that you can like run faster.
but you wouldn't be able to write
But
very
I-
well with your toes.
Right. I can't write my
You'd
books.
be like
I
the
can't
dude from My Left Foot.
hug my child.
You ever see that dude?
No.
That was what's the guy's name?
There's a show called My Left Foot.
It's a movie. It's about an Irish kid who's like born with just a foot and a leg, and he's
Well,
like a
everybody's
great
born with a
artist.
foot and a
No,
leg.
just nothing else. Just his foot and leg, his left foot and leg. That's all he's got. No arms, no legs, other than the left leg. And he learned how to draw with his toes, and he like made really kick-ass art. It's actually a really good movie. Wow. But first of all, I hate feet.
I know you do.
So it would just be really gross that I would have to like take the pen and put it in my mouth to put it in my foot to draw. No. Then I'd be like accidentally get foot salt on my tongue.
You should see his face right now.
Ugh.
He just wiped it off his mouth.
Okay.
Okay.
If you could ask the devil a question, what would it be? Please allow
I don't
me
believe
to
in the devil. There's no
introduce
devil. So,
myself.
I can ask the devil a question. What would it be? So I think that Lucifer was the chosen one by God. I think he agreed that he loved God so much that he agreed to be the one to take the fall. So in my opinion, that would be the question. Did you take the fall because you knew someone had to do the job, and you knew you could do it because you knew how much that you loved God? So that would be my question, probably.
My question would be like, if I have to come down there, are there hot chicks?
It's fucking hell. Yes, there's hot chicks, dumbass.
Well, not
means
that kind
like
of hot.
flaming hot.
Not flaming, burning hot.
Well,
but
you
like
have to be
smoking
specific
hot.
in your question.
Like smoke shows, like good-looking broads that like dorky dudes.
so like Norwegian.
Yeah, well, yeah, Norwegian,
Goddesses or-
Ukrainian,
or
Russian,
Ukrainian, yeah.
Irish. It doesn't matter.
Nice.
It doesn't matter. All right, so we got
right.
one more question.
Which serial killer do you find the most fascinating?
Well, that's a good question, Dawn. That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
that's good.
we're going to take the rest of this, the last few minutes that we have here, the few like 40 minutes or so.
40 minutes. Yeah, it's a whole nother show.
Talk about serial killers, because that to me is one of the most fascinating fucking things on the planet. Why people do what they do. So one of my favorites is Edward Kemper. This guy, Edmund Kemper. This guy is a nut job. And I found out about him watching the TV show on Netflix called Mindhunter.
Oh.
This guy, holy moly. Okay, so here's what he did. Let me see. He killed his grandparents. He hated living on their farm. So before moving, he had already begun learning about firearms. But his grandparents took away his rifle after he killed several birds and other small animals. On August 27th, 1964, Kemper finally turned his building rage on his grandparents. He was 15.
Oof.
He shot his grandmother in the kitchen after an argument. When his grandfather returned home, he went outside and shot him by his car and then hid the body.
Oh.
Then he called his mom, told him to call the police and tell them what had happened. Later, Kemper would say that he shot his grandmother to see what it felt like.
Oh.
And then he added that he had killed his grandfather so that the man wouldn't have to find out that his wife had been murdered. So he was handed over to California Youth Authority, and he underwent a variety of tests which determined that he had a very high IQ, but also suffered from paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah.
He was eventually sent to Atascadero State Hospital for mentally ill convicts. Wow. In 1969, he was released at the age of 21.
Dude.
Despite his prison's doctor's recommendations. Despite his prison doctor's recommendation that he does not live with his mother because of her past abuse and his psychological issues involving her, he rejoined her in Santa Cruz. Wow.
So why did he only spend 6 years in jail?
Probably because he was a child when he went in.
15?
So when he became an adult, they were like, maybe he's different now.
I mean, but that would be 18. So they're just saying 21. That they were.
Who knows?
Maybe he was a model prisoner.
So his mom worked at the University of California, And Kemper, when he lived with his mom, went to community college for a time and worked a variety of jobs. He finally found a job with the Department of Transportation in 71. Kemper had applied to become a state trooper, but he was rejected because of his size. This guy is huge.
300 pounds, 6'9".
Yes,
Wow.
he's fucking huge. And that led to his nickname, Big Ed. So you know the guy's a big dude.
I mean, I didn't know that you had to be shorter. Like, why could you not be a state trooper? That would seem like
Dude,
that
he
would be
was
a
like
good-
Herman Munster tall.
I know, but you would want someone protecting you. That
You're
was that
you're
big.
probably right.
So that doesn't make sense. I didn't know there was a height or a weight.
I didn't either. But there is like for pilots and stuff like that too. So who knows?
So I don't understand why he wouldn't become a trooper because of his
So
size.
even though he didn't get accepted, he did hang around some of the Santa Cruz police officers, and one of them gave him a training school badge and handcuffs, while another let him borrow a gun, according to whoever fights monsters. Why would you do that?
Because they probably didn't know his past. They were
and then
just
he
like,
had a
here's
car
this
that
kid
resembled a police
couldn't
cruiser.
get into to become a state trooper.
Well, they had to know his past. If he applied to be a cop, I'm sure they did a background check on him.
I know, but that information isn't released.
I
He was
don't
just
know.
a kid that was saying, I didn't get into it because I'm big. So
I don't know.
that's probably why they gave it to him. Not that I'm, trying to side with him. I sound like one of those fucking ladies that want to marry him, but no,
So he bought a car that looked like a police cruiser.
okay.
Okay. And then he had been working for the highway department. He was hit by a car on his motorcycle.
Ugh.
His arm was badly injured, and he received a $15,000 settlement in the civil suit he filed against the car's driver. Unable to work, Kemper turned his mind toward other pursuits. He noticed a large number of young women hitchhiking in the area. In the new car he bought with some of his settlement money, Kemper began storing the tools he thought he might need to fulfill his murderous desires, including a gun, a knife, and handcuffs.
Oh,
So this is where he became the co-ed killer.
yeah.
He first picked up female hitchhikers and then let them go. However, when he offered a ride to two Fresno State students, they would never make it to their destination. Their families reported them missing soon thereafter, but nothing would be known of their fates until August 15th, when a female head was discovered in the woods near Santa Cruz and was later identified as one of the girls. Lucasa's remains, however, were never found. Now, this guy's so big, he killed two girls. Picked them both up and killed them. So he later would explain that he stabbed and strangled one of them before stabbing the other as well.
Oh.
After the murders, he brought the bodies back to his apartment and removed their heads and hands. He also reportedly engaged in sexual activity with their corpses.
Why would you remove the head and the hands?
It gets better.
Why? I mean,
So in 72, September 14th, 72, he picked up a 15-year-old, Aiko Ku, who had decided to hitchhike rather than wait for the bus to take her to a dance class. Then he picked up a hitchhiker, Cindy Shaw, whom he shot and killed in January 1973. While his mother was out, Kemper went to her home and hid Shaw's body in his room. He dismembered her corpse there the following day and threw the parts into the ocean. Several parts were later discovered when they washed up on shore. He buried her head in his mother's backyard.
so we need to check his mother's backyard for
Oh,
the other person.
it
that
gets
did
better.
Okay.
February 5th, 1973, he used a campus parking sticker his mother had given him to facilitate a double murder. He drove to the university where he offered a ride to two students. Shortly after picking them up, he shot the two young women, then drove past the campus security at the gates with the two mortally wounded women in his car. After the murders, Kemper decapitated his two victims and further dismembered the bodies, removed the bullets from their heads, and disposed of their parts in different locations. At the time of Kemper's murders, two other serial killers, John Lindley Fraser and Herbert Mullins, were also perpetuating their own crimes in that area, resulting in Santa Cruz receiving the ignominious nickname the murder capital of the world in the press. For Kemper's part, he was dubbed the co-ed killer and the co-ed butcher. In April of 1973, Kemper committed what would be his last two murders. On Good Friday, he went to his mother's home where the two had an unpleasant exchange. Kemper attacked his mother after she went to sleep, first striking her in the head with a hammer and then cutting her throat with a knife, as he had with his other victims. He then decapitated her, cut off her hands, but then also removed her larynx and put it down the garbage disposal.
Okay, first, can we pause that in California at this time there were 3 serial killers? What the hell was in the water?
Dude,
like, what is
California
happening?
has had some cray-crays.
What?
After hiding his mother's body parts, Kemper called Kemper called his mother's friend Sally Hallett and invited her over to the house. Kemper strangled Hallett shortly after she arrived and hid her body in a closet.
Dude.
Kemper fled the area the next day, driving east until he reached Pueblo, Colorado, where on April 23rd he made a call to the Santa Cruz police to confess his crimes. At first, they did not believe that the guy they knew as Big Ed was a killer, but during subsequent interrogations, he would lead them to all the evidence they needed to prove that he was, in fact, the infamous co-ed killer.
Wow.
This guy was cray-cray. And I
Wow.
heard also, not only did he, like, kill his mom that way, but he had sex with her head.
Dude.
Yeah.
So that's probably why he ground up her throat.
Yeah.
Because he
was giving her a trach.
ejaculated into her mouth, down her throat.
Maybe.
So he decided to.
I don't know.
Well, that evidence was there.
Yeah. So that is the most
Dude.
fascinating serial killer I've ever heard of. The guy was fucking nuts, dude. And the thing that's scary is he's got such a high IQ.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have very high
Yeah.
IQs.
I
so
have
that's
read that. I've
that's
read
the
a few
scary
of
part.
The books.
All right. So what
Wow.
about you? Do you have one?
I was supposed to do research. There was, I don't know. Google the killers, and I'll tell you which one.
Well, there's a whole list of them right down here. Famous serial killers.
Yeah.
Dawn didn't do her homework.
No, I decided to knit.
List and notable murderers. Jeffrey Dahmer. Elizabeth Bathory. I told you about her. I told
She
you
was the
about her on
blood
the
one.
last episode.
She was the
yeah,
blood.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Israel Keys, Rodney Alcala, of course, Charlie Manson, Ted Bundy is pretty fascinating.
Oh, I do remember which one I told you. The one, they never called him. What was his name?
Zodiac Killer?
No. The one that was overseas that you said it was somebody else.
Oh, Jack the Ripper. Yeah. Jack the Ripper.
No, it's never been found. That's the one that I said.
Yeah, he killed at least 5 London female prostitutes in 1888, never captured. His identity is one of English's most famous unsolved mysteries. Wouldn't that be England's?
England.
Oh my God.
Who wrote this?
Apparently a moron.
Wow.
Look at this. Quick facts. Name, Jack the Ripper.
AKA
Jack the Ripper.
Because they don't know
Wow.
who he is. This is star writing right here. This is star writing.
I'm going to write about Jack the Ripper, and I'm going to make it sound incredible.
Okay, Beavis.
Oh my God. So he was in the Whitechapel district in London's East End. He killed at least 5 prostitutes and mutilated their bodies in an unusual manner, indicating that the killer had a knowledge of human anatomy. So that was the one big thing. They wondered, was he a doctor?
Is he a doctor?
It was like everything was precise.
Yeah.
Like he'd cut out the uterus
Yeah.
perfectly and all this other shit. Let's see. It also says Jack the culprit responsible for the murders of 5 prostitutes all took place within a mile of each other. It involved the districts of Whitechapel, Spitalfields, Aldgate, and the City of London. Despite countless investigations claiming definitive evidence of the brutal killer's identity, his name and motive are still unknown. The moniker Jack the Ripper originates from a letter written by someone who claimed to be the Whitechapel butcher, published at the time of the attacks.
So that was what I was saying too, that they say that he's a butcher, so he could be someone that,
Like Bill
a
the
hunter.
Butcher from Gangs of New York.
I don't know that one.
You never watched Gangs of New York?
No.
That's a good one too. It's a long movie though.
Okay. So that knowing anatomy just means you know how to dress, say, a deer or a squirrel or
Right.
whatever. So when you open up, it wouldn't necessarily mean that you had to be a doctor. You could just be a hunter.
Right.
So he is a hunter.
So this was my theory and a couple
His-
other people's
yeah.
theories about
That
Jack the Ripper came to America
Yes.
because Jack the Ripper killed in 1888.
Yep.
H.H. Holmes came around 1893,
1893. Yeah.
and he lured his victims into his elaborate murder castle.
Murder castle.
He built.
He had a murder castle?
Yes, he built like a house that had like extra rooms, and the rooms had like traps and shit in them, and he would like
What?
bring him down to the basement and put him in the incinerator after he killed him. He was renting the room out for the people that were there for the Columbia expedition, which was basically the World's Fair.
He was the first Airbnb.
Yeah.
Dude.
He was more than an Airbnb. Wow. But it's believed he had killed somewhere between 20 and 200 people.
Maybe that is him. Maybe that is Jack the
He
Ripper.
killed many of his victims in a specially constructed home, which was later nicknamed the Murder Castle. Apprehended in 1894, he was hanged for his crimes 2 years later. He was born in New Hampshire, it says, but that could be, I don't
He
know.
could have went over there with his
Right.
family. Like, he could have been a military brat
Right, exactly.
that didn't want to be over there. And then his dad got stationed or moved back to the Americas. And
So it says he enjoyed a privileged childhood.
so that's probably what it was. They had a summer home over there.
Right. There could be. He expressed an interest in medicine, which reportedly led him to practice surgery on animals. Some accounts indicate that he may have been responsible for the death of a friend. As a medical student at the University of Michigan, he stole corpses and used them to make false insurance claims. Wow. And he may have used the bodies for experiments.
So, yeah, maybe he came over here and he had the money and the means to make his own murder castle.
Yeah.
What's that movie with Johnny Depp where they would flip the bed over and then they would make the pies?
Oh, I don't remember.
I know y'all are screaming at the...
I don't remember. During the 1893 Columbian Exposition, Holmes opened up his home as a hotel for visitors. Unfortunately, many guests did not survive in what became known as the Murder Castle. Many of these victims, no one knows for certain the total number, were women who were seduced, swindled, and then killed.
Ooh.
Holmes had a habit of getting engaged to a woman only for his fiancée to suddenly disappear. Other victims were lured there by the offer of employment.
Oh. Dude.
He left
So he's the
Chicago
Black Widow.
shortly after the World's Fair to continue his schemes, including a plan with an associate named Benjamin Pettizel, in which Pettizel would fake his death to collect $10,000 from a life insurance company. Jailed at one point for another fraud, Holmes confided in fellow inmate and notorious outlaw Marion Hedgepeth, who knew Holmes as H.M. Howard, about the life insurance scheme. Hedgepeth later helped investigators by revealing details of their discussion. While the authorities eventually identified Howard as Holmes, they did not catch on soon enough to stop his final murders. Holmes killed Pettizel and, after telling his widow that her husband was still alive and in hiding, convinced her to let him travel with three of her 5 children, who also became his victims.
What? Dude, follow your gut.
He was finally apprehended in November of 1894. During his time in custody, he gave numerous stories to police, once admitting to killing 27 people. Convicted in 1895, Holmes appealed to his case but lost. Estimates of the total number of people Holmes killed range from 20 to as many as 200 victims. He died on May 7th, 1896, when he was hanged for the Pettizel murder. He was buried in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Dude.
That guy was creepy. And I think he was like supposedly one of America's first serial killers.
Yeah, so he possibly is Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
He's dressed like an
Yeah, I mean
Englishman.
And
England.
you know, they talk about medicine. He was into medicine and stuff like that. So you never know.
Medical school.
You just never know. Wow. You just never know.
Ted Bundy was wicked.
Yep. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we got next? Let's see. We got to look at Ted Bundy.
Or John Wayne Gacy, one of those.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy's a creepy fucker. He's one of the most... Ted Bundy was one of the most notorious ones.
His eyes just look... Bleh.
He was another one that was super smart and very charismatic. That's the
was
big one.
a
He was
genius.
extremely charismatic. There's some really good shows on, too. That one of them is his girlfriend that he was actually... that was alive... that he was like dating his quote-unquote fiance while he was killing people. It was her story. She's the one that turned him in,
No way.
from the way it looks like it. Wow. But like he ended up, when he went to prison, he ended up marrying some crazy chick that was like a
Fanatic.
fanatic about him.
That wrote him in jail.
I can't remember what it was, but
Ugh.
they married in jail. They had a kid because he got like conjugal visits and stuff while he was in prison.
Oh.
But he escaped twice from jail. He escaped once right at his trial.
He's so smart.
I think it was in Colorado. Gee, he was just crazy, man. There's so many freaking great shows about him.
Wow.
Let's see. He was born in Burlington, Vermont. He was an illegitimate child. She was very religious. He grew up in a very religious, but they're saying that he probably started killing people even while he was a kid.
Oh, wow.
They're saying he confessed to 36, but it could be closer to 100 or more.
Yeah.
There's some debate as to when Bundy started killing. Most say he began his murderous rampage around 1974. Around this time, many women in the Seattle area and in nearby Oregon went missing. That was the crazy thing. He apparently, like, killed somebody. There's like this big festival they do in Washington, and he was out there with his car, with wearing a cast, trying to get women to come help him change a tire or something like that, or help him get something out of the car.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he would kidnap them and then take them out and kill them,
Dude.
rape them, and all this other stuff. And there's one lady that actually remembered that and told the cops. And the cops had like a perfect description of Bundy, and they didn't even ever look for him. The car and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Could have caught him a long time before they did.
Yeah. And then
Such
he,
lazy people, man.
yeah. And then he like,
You had the information.
he went from there, I think, to like Colorado, and then he killed somebody in Colorado. And then he had another lady that he kidnapped in Colorado, but she got away. And then from there, I think he went to, I want to say parts of California. He got caught in California, and then or not California, but Colorado, and then he got away. See, he was right here. He was arrested. Carol Durant was the one that got away in 1975, and he was convicted and received a 1 to 15 year jail sentence. 1 to 15 years for
That's
kidnapping
That's it.
and attempted murder.
Back then, man, that was 1975. Like, they didn't even figure rape was.
He escaped from prison twice in
Illegal.
77. The first time he was indicted on murder charges for the death of a young Colorado woman and decided to act as his own lawyer in the case. They've got video of him doing that too, and it's like amazing to watch this guy because he actually was a lawyer.
Well, it says he was going to law school. So
Yeah. So he wasn't a full lawyer. He was going to law
Yeah.
school. And then he was also working on, I think it was Barry Goldwater's election. Was it Goldwater? I can't remember. But he was like working on one of their campaigns. A senator and a president's
Dude,
campaign.
well, he
and-
was trying to befriend them.
Right.
So that he could have
right.
continue doing what he's doing. He was smart.
Yeah, so on his trip to the courthouse library, he jumped out a window, made his first escape. He was captured 8 days later. He escaped from custody again. This time he climbed out of a hole he made in the ceiling of his cell. He dropped 30 pounds to fit through the small opening. Wow. And he was missing for 15 hours.
Dude.
He made his way to Tallahassee, Florida, that's where he broke into the Chi Omega sorority house. He attacked 4 of the young female residents, killing 2 of them. And then he kidnapped and murdered a 12-year-old girl named Kimberly Leach. And that's when he got caught. Wow. The most damning evidence connecting Bundy to the 2 Chi Omega murders at FSU were bite marks on one of the bodies, which were a definitive match to Bundy.
He bit them?
Yeah. He bit him. He hit one of them, beat her head in with a fucking log. And like, he was just, oh my God. Guy was,
Dude.
and he's like, it's just amazing. Wow. The
His
things,
quote, I don't feel guilty for anything. I feel sorry for people who feel guilt.
yeah. He had no emotion whatsoever.
Wow, that's the sociopath, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I remember the one scene they showed was, I think it was like the sheriff or something like that was reading his indictment or something like that in the prison, and it was on TV because Bundy was like just being such an asshole, and like he thought he was gonna get away with it and this and that, and just started being real like arrogant during the because he was a sucker for publicity. He loved the publicity. The guy was total sociopath. But this is where he began a 6-year relationship with Elizabeth Klepfer, whom he met in a Seattle bar. She was a single mom of a young daughter and struggled with alcoholism. Bundy took care of her, and she said he was warm and loving. So he led like a double life. He took care of that daughter. He took care of her,
Wow.
but he was out killing people too.
Wow.
And she went to the police with her suspicion of Bundy's involvement in prominent local murders, but they didn't believe he was the killer. Wow. And they remained together until they grew distant when Bundy moved to Olympia the following year. She went to the police again, this time with evidence that helped them to arrest the serial killer. He had confessed to Klepfer over the phone from his prison cell that he had tried to kill her and couldn't resist his impulses when he felt his sickness building in him.
She tried to kill her?
Yeah. She broke ties with Bundy for good and wrote a book about her experience. Wow. In February of 1980, Bundy married
Boone.
Carol Ann Boone, a mother of two whom he dated before his initial arrest. In a courtroom during the penalty phase of his trial, he proposed she accepted in the presence of the judge, making the marriage legitimate in Florida. Can you imagine if you're sitting there and you're fucking on trial
For murder.
and the judge looks at you and says, Mr. Bundy, do you have anything to say for yourself? And you turn around and ask some chick in the fucking thing,
No.
would you marry me?
So what's the penalty phase of his trial? That means he's getting sentenced?
That means he's getting sentenced, yeah.
Okay, so in his sentencing part of the trial,
Yeah.
he asks her to marry him. She says, yeah.
Which he got sentenced
so that
to
means
death
they're
penalty.
married. Because
Yeah.
that's what you do when
Right.
when you have to go to the courthouse.
Right.
So they're married at that moment.
So she gave birth to a daughter in 1982, and she named Bundy as the father. Not as much as known about Rose today. Boone eventually realized Bundy was guilty of the crimes. She divorced him 3 years prior to his execution. So she didn't believe he did it. He fucking duped
He's
her
so
to think,
smooth.
yeah,
Yeah.
that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He was finally executed in 1989 on January 24th.
Can you imagine being that daughter?
Could you?
Like,
yeah.
you have DNA of a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like, are you a serial killer?
It's crazy, man. Wow. It's fucking crazy.
Dude.
Those
Those aren't serial killers.
Those are different people. Let's look at Richard Ramirez. You know who that is? That's the Night Stalker.
No, that's the one I was going to click on last night when I
Yeah.
was doing research.
He killed at least 14 people and tortured dozens before being captured in 1985.
Oh.
He killed at least 14 people and raped and tortured at least 24 more, mostly during the spring and summer of 1985. After developing epilepsy as a child, he became a heavy drug user and cultivated an interest in Satanism, which became a calling card for investigators at his crime scenes. He was sentenced to death at the conclusion of his trial in 1989. He spent the remainder of his days at California's San Quentin prison before dying from cancer in 2013. See, this is what makes me mad.
So I have a question. When is, if you sentence to death, that you get to rot in prison and he can die of cancer before
Because
he
all
gets
he's got to
sentenced
do
to
is
death?
just keep putting out
What
appeals.
year did it be like, okay, you're sentenced to death, so now you're walking to the gallows when I sentence you?
Yeah.
When did that stop?
I don't know. Because it used to be like instantaneous.
Yeah, you're
You
sentenced
get sentenced to death,
so
they're
we're
going
walking
to
over
take you
here.
out there and either shoot you or hang you or whatever. Yeah, and now they languish
So
in
when-
prison forever.
When do they, I mean, I don't,
Some lawyer fucked it up, I'm sure.
like, he died of cancer
Yeah.
waiting on to be sentenced
So
to
he
death.
basically got to live most of his life out with
Yeah.
the other people that he
Yeah.
killed.
Correct. He should have received the same that he gave. He should be raped and sodomized, and whatever he did to his victims should be done to him.
Yeah. So as an adolescent, Ramirez was heavily influenced by his older cousin Miguel, who had recently returned from fighting in the Vietnam War. They smoked weed together as Miguel told Ramirez about the torture and mutilations he had inflicted on several Vietnamese women.
What?
Corroborating these stories was with photographic evidence. At age 13...
Oh, it is in the genetic Jesus.
At age 13, Ramirez witnessed his cousin murder his wife. He soon moved to California, progressing to cocaine addiction and burglary and cultivating an interest in Satanism. Arrested twice in L.A. for auto theft.
Ooh, so he smelled too.
Yeah, began to neglect his personal hygiene.
So he was stinky.
Ramirez's first known murder was on June 28, 1984. The victim was 79-year-old Jenny Vincow, who was sexually assaulted, stabbed, and killed during a burglary in her own home. What followed was a spree of brutal murders, rapes, and robberies, leaving dozens of victims in its wake. He struck nearly 9 months later, attacked Maria Hernandez, who managed to escape, and then killed her roommate, Dale Okazaki. Not satisfied with these assaults, he also shot and killed Tsai Lian Yu the same evening, spurring a media frenzy that saw Ramirez dubbed the Valley Intruder by the press.
Wow.
10 days later, murdered 64-year-old Vincent Zazzara and Zazzara's 44-year-old wife, Maxine, using an attack style that would become a pattern for the killer. The husband was shot first, then the wife was brutally assaulted and stabbed to death. In this case, Ramirez also gouged out Maxine Zazzara's eyes.
Why would you cut somebody's eyes out?
Oh, I don't know, man. Full-scale police operation yielded no concrete results. Ramirez repeated his attack pattern on pensioners William and Lily Doy in May of '85. Over the next few months, his murder rate escalated, claiming another dozen victims in a frenzy of burglary, assault, and brutal violence, complete with satanic rituals.
Did he keep the eyes?
I don't know.
If he's performing satanic rituals, that's the thing where
He
you
probably did.
keep the eyes.
He probably did.
We're also going to do another show on satanic and cult
Yeah.
murders too. That's a dude.
That was him.
Cut their eyes out.
Yeah. That guy, man.
That's messed up.
See, I don't like this shit. They get to marry one of their supporters.
Yeah, and he died of cancer. He didn't die of being
His
sentenced to
long-awaited
death.
appeal finally made it to the California State Supreme Court in 2006 before being rejected. So that's all he did. They just get to sit around and get appealed
Look at 209.
throughout their fucking life.
2009. A DNA sample connected him with the April 10th, 1984 rape and murder of a 9-year-old girl in
wow.
San Francisco.
That's just disgusting.
Disgusting.
So he spent 24 years on death row.
What? He should have been. That was
Yeah.
all of our money.
Yep.
All the taxpayers' money.
Yep.
Keeping a person that's on death row. I mean, that you should just, that's crazy.
Richard Speck, I
John Wayne
believe, is
Gacy.
also another one. John Wayne Gacy. The other one that this guy was crazy, the Iceman Kuklinski. Don't forget BTK. Bind, Torture, Kill.
I don't know who that is.
I'm trying to remember his name. These are all murderers.
I see that.
Little Richard was not a murderer.
No, the other one up top wasn't a murder either.
We'll look at the BTK. I can't remember the guy's name, but this guy was pretty bad. And they interviewed his daughter, Dennis Rader. That's right. They interviewed his daughter, and his daughter basically said she knew right off the bat it was him that did it.
Why?
Before, like, when the stuff started happening. I don't know.
Bind, torture, and kill. So that
But-
means he did that to her?
No, he didn't do it to her. She's still alive.
No, I'm saying
Oh.
if she knew.
I don't know. I'm
Like
not
what-
sure. But he was born in Ordinary. 10 murders and brazen correspondence with authorities between 74 and 91. So almost 20 years he was killing people. His alter ego resurfaced in 2004, but his penchant for leaving clues led to his arrest and life imprisonment for the following year.
Wow.
So he was a devoted family and company man by day, and he terrorized Wichita, Kansas area as the BTK killer for Bind, Torture, Kill. Dropped out of college and joined the Air Force in the mid-60s. Married his wife Paula in 71, worked for an outdoor supply company for about a year, began a lengthy stint as employee of ADT Security Services in 74.
Ooh.
That's a perfect way to become a serial killer.
Yeah, you totally
you know
get
how
into
to
everybody's
fucking-
houses.
Yeah.
And then you're setting up cameras that you can
Right.
totally link to your own house.
So his
You
first
just come
murder.
in and act
yeah.
like you're gonna. I need. Can I check? Are you interested in security services?
Yeah. It's fucking
You let him in
crazy.
the house, and then you're dead.
Yep. January 15th of 74, raiders strangled to death 4 members of the Otero family in their Wichita home. Parents Joseph and Julie and 2 of their children. Josephine and Josephine Jr. before leaving with a watch and a radio. Strangulation and souvenir taking would become part of his modus operandi, or pattern of behavior. He also left semen at the scene and later said that he derived sexual pleasure from killing. The Otero's 15-year-old son, Charlie, came home later that day and discovered the bodies.
Dude, see, they don't talk about who's left in the wake of all this stuff.
Well,
Poor Charlie came home and his whole entire family was murdered, and guess what? He's in the system now.
and
With a
if I
fucked up head because everybody's dead.
And if I remember correctly, he made the other people watch him kill the other people.
Ugh.
So he probably killed the parents and made the children watch.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, could be.
If they raped and tortured, I would say he raped and tortured the kids first.
Yeah, maybe.
And then the parents.
Raiders struck again a few months later on April 4th of 1974. He waited in the apartment of a young woman named Catherine Bright before stabbing and strangling her when she returned home. He also twice shot her brother, Kevin, though he survived. Kevin later described Rader as an average-sized guy, bushy mustache, psychotic eyes, according to a Time magazine article. In October of 74, Rader placed a letter in a public library book in which he took responsibility for killing the Oteros. The letter ended up with a local newspaper, and the poorly written note gave authorities some idea of who they were dealing with. Rader wrote, "It's hard to control myself. You probably call me psychotic with sexual perversion hang-up." He warned that he would strike again, noting, "The code words for me will be bind them, torture them, kill them." BTK. The initials stuck, and the murderer came to be known by the variations of the BTK killer moniker or simply BTK. Wow. Next known crimes occurred in 77. In March of that year, he tied up and strangled Shirley Vian after locking the children in the bedroom, in the bathroom. In December, he strangled Nancy Fox in her home and then called the police to report the homicide. Shortly afterward, in January of 78, Rader sent a poem to a local newspaper about the Vian killing. Several weeks later, he sent a letter to a local television station stating that he was responsible for killing Vian, Fox, and another unknown victim. He also made allusions to several other notorious killers, including Ted Bundy and David Berkowitz, also known as the Son of Sam.
So he kept wanting to be found.
Well, he wanted the publicity. Just a lot of them are like that. The Zodiac killer, who never got caught, was like that.
Right.
He would send those encrypted letters
Right.
that nobody could break. They could never decrypt
Because he was so
them.
smart,
Yeah.
so highly intelligent that
Yeah.
it wasn't. Yeah.
But he, despite his cat and mouse game with the authorities, Rader was able to keep the lid on his secret murderous life. Reportedly an attentive husband, he and his wife, he had a son in 75 and a daughter in 78. The next year, Rader graduated from Wichita State University with a degree in administration of justice. Still, he continued to taunt authorities and appeared to be poised to strike again. In 79, he waited in an elderly woman's home but left before she returned. He sent her a letter to let her know that BTK had been there. That's fucking
fucking with your
creepy,
head,
man. In an effort to catch him, the authorities released a 1977 recording of his phone call to police, hoping that someone might recognize the voice. He looks like a crazy bastard.
Dude.
After several years without a known crime, Rader killed his neighbor, Maureen Hedge, on April 27th of 85. Her body was found days later on the side of the road. Following year, he killed Vicky Wegerle in her home. His final known victim, Dolores Davis, was taken from her home on January of 1991.
Dude.
Over the next several years, BTK dropped off the map as Rader focused on work and family life. He had left ADT in the late 80s and started working for the Wichita suburb of Park City as a compliance supervisor in 91. In his new position, he was known to be a stickler for the rules. He measured the height of people's lawns and chased stray animals while toting a tranquilizer gun.
He was the first Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. According to reports, Rader took pleasure in exerting his limited authority over his neighbors and other members of the community. He was also a Boy Scout troop leader and president of his church council.
No. Nope. That's where they hide people. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. With many news stories marking the 30th anniversary of the Otero murders, BTK resurfaced in 2004. Rader sent local media outlets and authorities several letters filled with items related to his crimes, including pictures, a word puzzle, and an outline for the BTK story.
Dude.
He also left packages with clues, including
You
a
have to-
computer disk that ultimately led authorities to Rader's church. Investigators also noticed his Jeep on security tapes of some of the package drop-off areas and cemented their case by obtaining a DNA sample from Rader's daughter.
So he had time
Yeah,
to make a puzzle.
yeah. And an outline for his
outline.
book about the BTK story.
So I guess it would be like what would it be, like a word puzzle or
Oh, who the fuck knows, man?
crosswords?
Rader was arrested on February 25th, 2005, and later charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. His neighbors and fellow church members were stunned by the news, unable to believe that the man they knew was the serial killer that had haunted the area for so long. He pleaded guilty to all of the charges, and as part of his plea, he gave the horrifying details of his crimes in court.
Ugh, he just wanted an audience.
Yeah. Many observers noted that he described the gruesome events without any sign of remorse or emotion. Because he committed his crimes before the state's 1994 reinstatement of the death penalty, Rader was sent to El Dorado Correctional Facility to serve his 10 life sentences.
It wouldn't matter because the other guy had died, 24 years. He had been on death row for 24 years. So.
Stephen King wrote a novella inspired by his story,
Oh, I didn't know that.
which was published as part
Became
of
a
the 2010 collection Full Dark, No Stars, and later became a feature film. In 2016, forensic psychology professor Catherine Ramsland published Confession of a Serial Killer, The Untold Story of Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, which revealed that the notorious murderer had planned to claim an 11th victim before he was arrested.
Oh, wow.
2017, Netflix's crime drama Mindhunter was released to critical acclaim. One of the serial killer characters, known as ADT Man on the show, is based on Rader.
Wow. Dude.
That's crazy stuff,
That's,
man.
Psh.
That's crazy stuff.
So hiding in plain sight, like you were saying this weekend at work. These
Yeah.
people are just hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, I mean,
You work with them. You
Yeah.
eat with them. They're your Boy Scout troop leader. They're in your church deacon. They're, they have a normal life. They have a wife and kids and
yeah.
wow.
John Wayne Gacy, the killer
This
clown,
is the clown you're talking about.
worst serial
This is-
killers in U.S. history, raping and murdering at least 33 young male victims. 33.
Burying him under his house.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says he worked as a fast food chain manager during the 60s, became a self-made building contractor and Democratic precinct captain in the Chicago suburbs in the 70s. He organized cultural gatherings and was active in political organizations in the JC Civic Group. He was married and divorced twice and had 2 biological children, in addition to 2 stepdaughters. Gacy was a member of a Chicago area Jolly Joker Clown Club and frequently performed in clown attire and makeup at children's parties, charity fundraisers, and other events as his alter egos Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. The killer clown sometimes lured his victims with the promise of construction work or some other ruse and then captured, sexually assaulted, tortured, and eventually strangled most of them with his hands or with rope. Years later, during a conversation with detectives while he was under surveillance, Gacy discussed his work as a clown, remarking, "Clowns can get away with murder."
Dude.
In 1968, he was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 teen boys and given a 10-year prison sentence. He was released on parole in the summer of 1970, but was arrested again the following year after another teen accused Gacy of sexual assault. Charges were dropped when the boy didn't appear during the trial. Probably didn't appear because he probably killed him.
So I had a guy that I worked with He lived in a trailer park. He was like one of the kind guys that all the kids came over and hung out. So then he took one of the teenage boys with him on a cruise. It was just him and the boy. So the boy, they were having an argument because the boy wanted to go to the club. So all the people on both sides of the rooms like called the cops on the cruise ship, right? So they came and they were pounding on his door. So he didn't want to be arrested, number one, because other nefarious things had been going on with him and this teenage boy. So he just jumped out the window. He's one of the ones that floated out in Miami that they rescued because he was so large. He was
That's
like
fucking
over 300
horrible.
pounds, and he was very
That's horrible.
floaty. So he just floated
was
out there until
buoyant.
so they found him.
Wow.
Yeah, can you imagine that? That right there is where it starts.
Yeah. So by the middle of the 70s, 2 more young males accused Gacy of rape, and he would be questioned by the police about the disappearances of others. Gacy referred to this period of his life as his cruising years, when he committed most of his murders. December of 1978, 15-year-old Robert Peast went missing. It was reported to police that the boy was last seen by his mother at a drugstore where he worked before he headed out to meet Gacy to discuss a potential construction job. 10 days later, police search of Gacy's house in Norwood Park, Illinois, uncovered evidence of his involvement in numerous crimes, including murder. It was later discovered that Gacy had committed his first known killing in 1972, taking the life of 16-year-old Timothy McCoy after luring the youth to his home. After a lengthy period of police surveillance and investigation and the discovery of several trenches filled with human remains in the crawl space beneath his house.
He was a construction worker, so it wouldn't be
Right.
weird that you had machines in your yard.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to pull them out of your backyard and
He
take
eventually
them to work with
confessed
you.
to killing about 30 people. Now imagine being his wife living in that house.
No, he
How
just
did you
likes
get rid
to
of the
dig
smell?
ditches. He just likes to dig ditches. He
Yeah.
buried him outside, so,
No, it was in the crawl space under his house.
but it was I would imagine they were covered up. They were buried.
Yeah, but I mean, that smell's still going to come out.
I don't know if it'll come in through your house.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he just
So,
maybe sealed all the air areas to where it wouldn't get up in the house.
I don't know. It's fucking crazy,
Maybe
man.
he just said, "Oh, that's just a squirrel in the wall." For the smell, you're right.
Look at his face.
Dude, he looks like he would be a restaurant manager, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Restaurant manager.
Like,
Yeah. Oof.
would you like fries with that?
All right.
Ugh.
No.
Dude, could you
clowns.
imagine if you were a kid and your mom got you a clown and that was him, and like you're like already kind of nervous about clowns anyway, and then the next day you're seeing on the news that Gacy gets arrested
No.
and they show pictures of him in his clown outfit.
No, you don't like clowns anyway.
Oh no, I don't like clowns. They're fucking gross.
Dude. Nope.
So he told the police that the murders had been committed by an alternate personality, while mental health professionals testified for both sides about Gacy's mental state.
I mean, something's got to be wrong with you if you're murdering people.
He was found guilty of committing 33 murders and became known as one of the most ruthless serial killers in U.S. history. 12 death sentences and 21 natural life sentences. What's the point of giving 21 natural life sentences if
It
you're
doesn't
getting the
matter.
death sentence?
12 death sentences.
I guess it's just because they have to put that on paper saying
33.
that
You
those
murdered
crimes
12.
were vindicated, as in he was punished for each crime, even
Yeah.
though, and you know what? It makes sense because a lot of these guys appeal and then they end up getting out because
So
they get
this
a good
guy was
lawyer.
he was in the correctional facility and he was there for almost a decade
Yeah,
and a half
and then
before he was executed.
yeah.
Wow.
He tried to appeal his sentence and then, try to change his story on the
Said he was
murders
not
and
guilty.
interviews. He did not, though he had confessed, Gacy later denied being guilty of the charges and had a 900 telephone number set up with a 12-minute recorded statement declaring his innocence. And the 900 number means it was being charged. Because that was back in the 80s and 90s.
So
Those
you have
900
to
numbers
dial
were
a
like
900
$3.50 a fucking minute.
So
And it
how
had
do
a
you get it?
12-minute recorded statement.
So he was getting the money.
Yeah.
He had
Fucking
a
arrogance,
900
man.
Wow. So you paid at least 12 minutes to listen
Yeah,
to his declaring of his innocence.
yeah. So he died by lethal injection on May 10th of 1994 in Crest Hills, Illinois.
In Illinois.
He drew. Oh my God.
Pogo the Clown. So they sell his artwork.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think anybody would ever buy that shit.
Some people do.
Hey guys, it's the end of the show. Dawn, this was a fun one.
Yeah, I liked it.
Hey, we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We're gonna take some time off. Please enjoy the rest of the shows that we have. We got a lot coming, man. We got a lot coming. Catch us on Podbean. Catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Give us a call. The number's in the beginning. I don't have the thing open. I can't tell it to you what it is. Or give us an email at thedeadtimeradio@gmail.com. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks. We love you.